As promised, this video is about how I wrote a 304-page book in 3 days. The first thing that I do when I'm working on a big project or idea is give myself some time. The amount of time is going to vary on you, what you're good at, what you want to do, the project itself. For this, it had been a long time. We're talking 6 months plus, right? Put a little thought in here, a little thought in there, and then dramatically large amounts of thought for a couple of days. And then I just said, that's it. It's time. And I started. That's how I finished it so fast with these two other very important parts. The next part is either you need a large amount of research, which would go into that other part where you're thinking, you're looking, you're putting things together, or be an expert on the topic. This was something that I already knew inside and out, upside down, backwards, etc. I did use research and some information as inspiration, but overall, most of the book was in my head. So that made it so I could literally just kind of spit it out. And then there was the part I'm about to show you next, which is probably the most important. Okay, so what we're looking at here is you can see me in the corner, and then you can see some weird stuff in my background, but the focus is supposed to be this book outline. And I'm doing it in Google Docs because it's free to use and anybody can use it. The key of what I'm showing you is how I start with a very simple outline and turn that into whatever I'm writing. So whenever I write a piece of content, I break it down into itty bitty pieces as far as I'm comfortable. Now to start, you can do it with either a phrase or a word. So that's really what I've got here. And you can see that it's organized. I went in 2 spaces for subtopics, and kind of this is actually my next book. It is my life story autobiography with a little bit of personal development thrown in. So next, what you do is you turn each phrase into a sentence. Okay, so what that sentence is supposed to do is kind of outline the trajectory of that topic. So next, you would fill this in with more details. Okay, so I'm going to expand upon this. And the difference with a book is that you're going to expand a lot on many of these things. This is going to be a multi-page arc of my book. So when you're writing smaller things, it's really easy to just write a paragraph and then expand on the next idea. It becomes a paragraph, expand on the next idea. With a book, you really need to have a pretty clear idea of where you're going. And to be honest, I should probably break down these topics into deeper topics, more detail to kind of guide my trajectory further. So this was literally just to give you an idea of how I did that. So break down in as deep as you can phrases that will guide you through the writing process. So I'm now, when I turn this off, going to go through and I'm going to break down these topics even further because I realized that I didn't give myself enough of a frame to really be able to spit this book out fast. Now, this is not my current priority. I have other stuff that has to come first. But when I do come around to this, it's going to be really important that I have a great outline. Fill in that outline, and I should be able to spit out the book in, let's say, a week. This one's going to be harder. While I do obviously know all the stories, the way I frame everything is more important than me just spewing my knowledge. So that's how I wrote my book in 3 days. I just filled in the blanks, had a friend look, did some editing, had another friend look, and then before I knew it, it was ready to rock. And I self-published that book and I sold hundreds of copies. I might have broken 1,000, but anyway, made me a boatload of money too. That was 2009. I think it's time I write another book. So anyways, I hope this helped, and keep an eye because I have all kinds of ridiculous stuff coming in the near future.